This is your second year. Could you compare this year to how you felt a year ago?
First of all, it's great to be back. I'm excited about the season ahead. Being my second year with the group, there is definitely a comfort level. I understand how all of them, work and how they worked with one another. Last year, did not know that. It wasn't a surprise that I knew how competitive the group was, coaching against them, some of their players for a few years back. But I'm excited about the group. We have a lot of good players coming back. The continuity that we have this summer from the guys that we've signed back long term, it's great. John Wall is one of the best players in basketball. Last year I thought he made a big step, not only on the court, but leadership. That's not always easy to do, but I think now you can really talk about him as being in the MVP conversation. He has that type of ability, he has that type of game, and I think he's had a great summer of improving.
Coach, Kel Reynolds from CTV. Now we see the landscape of the East now. Kyrie going to Boston. You have Gordon Hayward, Gordon Hayward and all that happened. The Wizards didn't make any big plays for any big high-profile players. You guys come to field. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a great thing. I look at things, I know that people have said that, but we've added a lot of important pieces for a long term. John is with us for a lot of years. Bradley, we signed him to a long-term. Otto to a long-term. We got a lot of good players coming back into their prime, if not even into their prime. Brad and Otto, I think, are only 24 years old. So the future's bright. We have to just continue to play the brand of basketball we want to play, unselfish basketball, and we definitely have to improve in a lot of areas. But I like what we've done this summer. As you can see around the league, it's not always easy to sign your best players back. I've had the situation myself, and as you go around the league and you see that. So John, to commit to us is great. It tells you that how he feels about the organization, about the city and the fans that he has here. But it's a big part of what we did this summer. I think Ernie and I, we share the same vision, keeping our best players together. I think that helps you win basketball games. It's not the only factor. Those players have to be good players to come back. You just don't want to just sign anybody to contracts. But I think with our guys that we've signed back, I'm excited to coaching them for another year, and we're looking forward to continue to improve together as a group.
Scott, bringing the core back means you guys have continuity, whereas like Cleveland and Boston, maybe they're having to take a second to figure out who's doing what. The fact though that Markieff is not going to be out in a few weeks, what does that do to that continuity aspect, to the idea of getting off to a good start, unlike last year when you guys started off too late?
Well, it's not the ideal situation when you have one of your starting players out for an extended period of time with surgery, but it's part of the game. You have to have that next man mentality, which we have, and it's going to open up opportunities for guys to step up. We have versatility. We have depth. We can go in many different directions. We can go small. We can throw Kelly in there. We can throw Jason in there. Mike Scott we can put in there. But there's a lot of players that we can throw into the mix. We will miss them, but I feel confident in the group. The thing that we will always do, and that mindset we always will have, is the no excuse mentality. We had it last year, even when we had a tough start. We didn't point fingers. We didn't blame it on anybody. We didn't feel sorry for ourselves. We just kept doing our job, and I think that's a good approach to have. He will be back soon. Don't know when, but he will be back.
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
Two-part question on Markieff. Did he deal with sports hernia during last season, and when did he get the diagnosis that surgery was necessary?
Well, he had some discomfort. I want to say 3 or 4 weeks ago. And at that time, he was expecting, him and his fiance was expecting a child. So the surgery was, we had to work some, around that. And then obviously the trial that he had is ongoing in Phoenix, so we had to wait for that. But he had a successful surgery last Friday, and we're excited for him to be on his road to recovery. Like I said, it's not ideal having your players out for an extended period of time, but we have a good group of guys that will step up and fill in his role, and he'll be back in no time. We're excited to have him back when he does come back.
No pain during the
No, not that I know of. I mean, I think everybody's had bumps and bruises throughout the season, but I don't ever recall. I know he had the ankle injury that he had in Boston. One thing I know about Keith, he's as tough as a competitor there is. I mean, there's at times during that Boston series I didn't think he was going to play because his ankle was pretty swollen, but he stepped up and manned up, and he's going to do whatever it takes to get back as soon as he can. We're not going to rush him back. He's going to be diligent in his rehab with our staff. I'm confident in him and our staff to get him back to be full strength as soon as he can get back.
Christy Winter-Scott, CSN. Coach, can you describe your expectations? I'm back here. Oh, way back. Sorry. Can you describe your expectations for the point guard and the two guard position in terms of depth?
We're excited to add the pieces that we added this off-season. Jody Meeks is one of the best shooters in the game. He's had some unfortunate injuries the last few years. Hopefully, we can keep him healthy and on the court. If you can do that, he spaces the floor as well as anybody in the league. He's a 40% three-point shooter, and he can knock down 4 or 5 in a quarter. And then we added also Tim Frazier, who was I consider as tough as a competitor as there is in the league. Small in size, but he has a big heart. I've been around him all summer. He's been back, so they're going to be battling for minutes. And then Thomas has made another jump in his game. He's been with his national team most of the summer. So I've seen him on film, but I haven't seen him live yet. But he is here and ready to go. And there's other guys. There's always guys that step up and surprise you. We have some spots that are available that people are going to be fighting for, and the minutes are going to be fought for during training camp. So we're excited with the group that we have.
You talked about the continuity. With some of the younger players like Sheldon, you mentioned Tomas, even like Chris McCullough, you talk about the importance of their continued development this year and what it can mean for the team overall.
Well, I think when I look at our group, I focus on developing all of them. And no matter how old you are, how many years you play in the league, I still think you can get better. And we have some tested veterans that have been through a lot of playoff series. And I think those guys are going to continue to improve. But our younger guys, we're always about developing players. And it's always about doing your job every day. Incremental gains is so important in this league. And with our young players, our staff, I'm very confident and I'm very excited to be back with our staff and working with our players. But we got a lot of young guys that can take another step up. Kelly Oubre is 21 years old, going into his 3rd year. I think he's had a great summer. I'm excited to see that improvement on the court with our group, over training camp into the start of the regular season.
Coach Nina from you.
Any discussions with the team as of yet, but there definitely will be discussions. I know it's a hot topic right now, rightfully so. But the thing that I love about our group, I've only been with the group for a year, so hopefully it doesn't change. But we've always done things together, and I think it's stronger when you do it in group, in a group setting. And whatever we decide on, we're going to do it together. But also, to me, it's how you conduct yourself and carry yourself throughout the day, not just a short segment of the day. And I've been with a lot of teams, and this is, I think, my 28th training camp. I know I look a lot younger than that. It's tough turning 39 last summer. But it's, where was I? Let's see, when you get old, you lose your train of thought. I've been with the group for about a year now, so this group and this organization, they do an incredible job at getting involved in the community. Not only players give back money, they give their time, and there's constantly, we're always going places. Whether it's the Special Olympics or Make-A-Wish or Wounded Warriors, groups are coming here. We're always giving back. So to me, it's how you conduct yourself throughout the day is more important than how you conduct yourself for the 3 or 4 minutes that are people that are doing, which I think growing up here and being an American citizen is a great honor, and it's a privilege to be in the NBA, and I think we all have this opportunity to give back and make a difference. And like I said, our group has done a tremendous job, and I'm proud to be a part of the organization that continues to give back.
Coach, 2 questions.
Years of his career, he has shown me nothing but a lot of respect and a lot of great effort, and he is deserving of the MVP that he got a few years ago, and he was deserving of the championship. He was one of the best players on the best team. I wish nothing for the best for him and his family. He's a great person that I've been able to coach and with him for his first 8 years.
Troy Halliburton, Truth About It, Coach. How important do you think it is as an organization to be ahead of the curve when it comes to advanced metrics? And you in particular, were there any stats or trends that you looked at over the summer to come back as an improved coach?
Well, I know when I first took over the job, I thought I was pretty in touch with a lot of the advanced metrics, and they threw so many things at me. I'm like, whoa, I gotta go back to school to understand all this. I think it's important. I think it's important to understand how you play and what you can do as a group to get better. But there's also, you have to be careful because there's a lot of stuff out there, and you can be bogged down by just trying to coach the team through the metrics. But I believe in, it's pretty simple. You got to get good shots, and you got to be able to stop the team from getting good shots. And so that's about as simple as I can get. But the analytics play a big part in our organization. I think we're right there with any team in the league in that department. But it comes down to good players, and we have that. But we always try to improve, whether it's a percent here and there. It can help, but metrics is a big part of what we do.
Scott, how would you have assessed John Wall's defense last season, and what little things does he need to do to go from being one of the better defensive point guards to maybe the best?
Well, I think a lot of times defensively he could be one of the best in the league, and he has shown that in the past. And going forward, he needs to continue to improve in that area. But as a group, we need to continue to improve. There's so many scoring point guards in this league, and so many offensive teams are designed for guards to get buckets in, and for the court to be wide open. So pick and roll defense is not just a guy who's guarding the ball. You got to have 4 of the guys in the right position. 4 of the guys are committed and knowing what to do and knowing when to be, knowing where to be on the floor. But so I look at our defense as a whole, but it's important that all of our guys are committed to being better defenders. But John, like I said, he could be MVP conversation with his ability to lead our group offensively and defensively. He's strong, athletic, dynamic. He does a lot of great things for our team, and he's going to continue to do that. He's just entering his prime of his career. You don't find the consistency that he brings. He's a double-double. And Jan, he had unfortunate injuries last year, but prior to that, he's been pretty healthy throughout his career. They both complement one another very well. One's more of a defensive-minded center, and one is more of an offensive-minded center. But I think we need them both to play well for us to have success, and both are about winning. And until they tell me different, I have a lot of respect for both because they care about winning and they focus on winning winning basketball games. The position has changed. It has changed, but March is one of the best, and Jan, they're one of the best screen setters in the league. And that's a job that's so important, that gets no respect and it gets no love, because there's nothing to it on paper. There's no stat other than we keep it ourselves if you set a good screen. But he helps us score. Both of them do, with their ability to set good screens and roll out of it and finish around the rim.
Considering he did have a procedure analysis.
Yeah, you know what? I saw him a couple of weeks ago when he came into town, and then I left for a golf tournament. But from what I'm hearing last week, he's been great. He was doing a lot of work on the court, scrimmaging with the guys. He's healthy. He's in the best shape as he's ever been in his probably career, and give him and our staff a lot of credit. They've worked a lot of hours to be in this position. We're excited about what he brings to the team. He knows how to play. He has championship experience. He will help us. He had an unfortunate year last year with the injuries. I think he was out for 50 games or so. You don't want that from any of your players. But he's ready to go. We're excited about starting camp, him being healthy. And with like all of our guys, we're going to do our best to keep all of our guys healthy this season.